bride's world fell apart when her fiancé pulled another woman close right at the altar, admitting he was only after her money. Just as they were about to exchange rings, Ren Qingqing crashed the ceremony in her own wedding dress and claimed the groom, Chu Ze, for herself. She made fun of the bride Lu Changxi by showing off the expensive watch and gold bracelet Lu had bought for her fiancé, which he had secretly given to his mistress. It was completely humiliating when Chu Ze ordered his men to drag Lu out of her own wedding like a criminal. But the nightmare was just getting started. When Lu rushed home, she found the two of them in her bed. She screamed at them to get out of her house, but Chu Ze just laughed in her face. He told her he had secretly forged the deed to the house to put it in his name and wouldn't leave unless she paid him 5 million. Thrown out on the street with nothing, Lu got a devastating call from the hospital. Her mother was in critical condition and needed a $300,000 surgery within the week. Desperate and crying in the hospital hallway, she ran into an older man she had once saved from a heart attack. After hearing about her cheating fiancé, the old man insisted that she marry his grandson instead. Little did she know, the grandson was the city's most powerful billionaire, and he was already watching her. He was convinced she was a scheming gold digger who had gone after his grandfather to steal the family's money. To test her, he showed up at their first meeting dressed like a dirty construction worker, saying he had just gotten off a shift. Even though he looked a mess, Lu didn't think twice, agreeing to the marriage to make her mother's last wish come true. The next morning, they went to the courthouse and officially got married, to test how greedy she was. Things got worse when her greedy relatives stormed into her mother's hospital room, trying to kick the dying woman out of bed to get a refund on the medical bills. Lu got there just in time to stop them, but she knew she had to move her mother somewhere safe. Following the grandfather's wishes, the new couple got ready to move in together. Gu had to hire a luxury SUV, lying that the driver was just from a fancy taxi service. As they moved into a rundown apartment to keep up the act of being poor, Gu suspiciously watched her every move, expecting her to try and seduce him or ask for more money. But as he lay there planning to expose her, he was shocked when Lu just fell into a deep, exhausted sleep next to him. Lu looked at her new husband in the moonlight, wondering how a simple worker could look so elegant and kind. She never suspected that the man sharing her tiny room was the head of a financial empire. The greedy bully grabbed the woman's neck with both hands, demanding that she drink every bottle of alcohol on the table if she ever wanted to see her family home again. Little did he know, the woman's husband wasn't just some poor construction worker, but the most powerful billionaire in the city. Just hours earlier, Chansey had made a simple breakfast of dough sticks for her husband Gri, who was secretly pretending to be a poor worker. As they ate in their tiny apartment, Gu watched her suspiciously, especially when she offered him a ride to work on her cheap electric scooter. He wondered if she was just another gold digger, especially when she pointed at a passing luxury car and promised to buy him one as soon as she made enough money. But the mood was shattered when Xiangxi got a terrifying phone call. Desperate to save her inheritance, Qianxi rushed to the club, only to walk right into a trap. Chu Zi and his buddies humiliated her, forcing her to drink glass after glass of liquor while making fun of how poor she was. When she refused, Chu Zi lost his patience and started to choke her, threatening to sell the house right then and there. Suddenly, the doors banged open. Gu's eyes were cold as he ordered them to get out before he ruined their lives. Later, Qianxi woke up in a hospital bed, confused and struggling to breathe. She found Gu sitting next to her, once again dressed in his simple work clothes. He quickly lied to her, claiming he was only at the club to celebrate with his construction crew, and managed to save her by calling for help. Qianxi felt incredibly guilty, thinking her poor husband had risked everything to stand up to those dangerous men. The jealous rival lunged forward to slap Qianxi across the face, but little did she know she was messing with the wife of the city's most powerful billionaire. Just hours after being choked by a thug in a nightclub, Qianxi dragged her exhausted body back to the office, scared of losing her job under the company's mysterious new CEO. Instead of sympathy, she was hit with nasty insults from Ren Qianqian, who showed off a $5 million jade bracelet and made fun of Qianxi for marrying a poor construction worker. But the bully's smug smile disappeared in a second when Xiangxi, a secret jewelry expert, revealed the priceless heirloom was just a cheap piece of fake marble. Embarrassed in front of her coworkers, Ren Qianqian flew into a rage and tried to hit her. But Qianxi was faster and landed a hard slap that left the office in stunned silence. The chaos was cut short by the arrival of the new CEO, Mu Chen, who stepped out of a luxury car looking like he was totally in charge. He demanded to know her name, which instantly made her the most talked about woman in the building. Meanwhile, the web of secrets got even more complicated at a private bar, where Mu Chen met his best friend Gu, who was still living a double life as Qianxi's poor husband. Gu made a serious request, telling the CEO not to reveal his real identity at the upcoming company party because he was determined to keep his wealth a secret from his own wife. But as the powerful men were making their plans, tragedy struck at home. Qianxi arrived home to find her grandfather collapsed on the floor, struggling to breathe. He stared at her in total shock, thinking he was looking at a cold-blooded crime. Will Gu realize the truth, or will this misunderstanding destroy everything? The cruel ex-boyfriend grabbed the woman's arm and tried to force her to her knees in the middle of a crowded luxury store, while his new girlfriend laughed at how poor she was. Just hours before this, Tianqi's world was falling apart after her husband's grandfather collapsed and blamed her for it. He had screamed at her to get out of their home, thinking she was a cold-blooded killer who was only after the family's money. But as soon as the grandfather woke up, he revealed the truth. Tianqi was actually the one who had saved his life. Feeling incredibly guilty, Gu realized he had nearly destroyed the only woman who truly loved him. To make things right, he stopped her from moving out and took her to the city's most exclusive boutique to buy her the diamond ring she deserved. But the moment Gu stepped away for a private phone call, the vultures attacked. Her ex-boyfriend Chu Zi and the jealous Ren Qianxian surrounded her, making fun of her for marrying a poor worker who couldn't even afford a wedding ring. They sneered that someone like her didn't belong in such a fancy shop and ordered her to get on her knees and bow 10 times to apologize for just being alive. Just as Chu Zi was about to get physical to humiliate her, Gu appeared like a shadow, his eyes cold and dangerous. The bullies still think he's just a poor construction worker who can be easily pushed around, but they have no idea that the man they're threatening is the secret owner of this entire luxury empire. What would you do if you discovered your poor husband was actually a billionaire? Without hesitating, the man shoved her ex-boyfriend, furious that he would put a hand on his wife. But the husband wasn't bothered at all. He simply called for Secretary Wu, who immediately slapped the manager's girlfriend for being so rude. It turned out Secretary Wu was actually the executive secretary for the chairman of the Gu Group. He ordered the manager and his girlfriend to be thrown out of the store. As an apology, he offered the woman a limited edition $2 million ring. Her husband took it and put it on her finger. To make up for the trouble, the secretary also offered her a brand new custom-made dress for a party that evening. The secretary told her to keep the dress, explaining that since Mr. Gu had saved his life, a dress and a ring were nothing in comparison. Later, her friend told her about a party for the U Group, where the legendary head of the Gu Group, a man also named Gu Yanxiu, might show up. The woman laughed it off, saying she was too busy working to worry about CEOs. Her friend joked that maybe her husband was secretly the powerful CEO, but she blew it off, saying that only happens in romance novels. What she didn't know was that at that very moment, her husband was in his office being dragged to the same party by a coworker. He tried to say no, but his friend wouldn't take no for an answer. When they got outside, he was shocked to see a Rolls-Royce waiting. He insisted on taking a taxi to keep up the act for his wife, but his friend forced him into the car. Meanwhile, at the party, the ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend was taking selfies in a rented dress, trying to keep up her fake rich girl act. A guest recognized it as a limited edition designer dress worth millions. But in the next second, the woman walked in wearing the real, priceless custom dress, and everyone turned to stare in shock. Her coworker immediately accused her of wearing a fake dress, saying the real one was the only one in the world. She sneered that a low-level designer could never afford something so priceless. The woman insisted the dress was real, calmly explaining that there were actually 3 of them. One was owned by a movie star, another by a princess, and the third was a gift to her from the designer. Her coworker then called her a liar and ordered security to throw her out for wearing a cheap knockoff. But the woman revealed the coworker's dress was rented, and she was only trying to use it to make herself look more important. Furious, the other guests started making fun of the coworker for being a phony, and security was about to throw her out instead. She calmly pointed to the woman's shoe, where a buckle was now missing. She explained that the buckle must have broken off when she tripped. In her hand, she held up the broken piece of jewelry, proving that she had been framed. The coworker watched in disbelief as the man pulled up in a Rolls-Royce, but she quickly wrote him off as just a driver. Just then, another guest ran up and excitedly greeted him as Mr. Gu, the powerful head of the Gu Group. The coworker was stunned, unable to believe that the woman's poor husband was the billionaire CEO she had been making fun of. Desperate to hide who he really was, the husband's friend lied and said he was just a repairman he had picked up to fix a problem at the party. The man then tried to explain why he was wearing a fancy suit, claiming the CEO had lent it to him so he wouldn't get the car dirty. But his wife saw right through the lies. Hurt that he would hide who he really was from her, she told him she would give him a divorce. She assumed he was only hiding his wealth because he was afraid she would spend all his money. The other guests kept laughing at what they thought was a poor repairman trying to pass himself off as a CEO. His wife, still believing the lies, felt embarrassed for him. But when her coworker's insults went too far, she jumped in to defend him, not caring if he was rich or poor. The coworker, furious at being embarrassed, demanded she pay up for the stained dress. She told the woman she knew she couldn't afford it, and that she and her broke husband were trying to trick her. She grabbed a metal pipe and tried to attack the woman.